So welcome to our Flipgrid session this morning. I do apologize for the noise in the background. They're doing construction on the building here, so we'll hear a little bit of it. Hopefully you can hear me. So if you can just put in the chat real quick that you can hear and see me and my presentation, that would be great, so we know that we're all working, all the devices are working and the technology is working. That would be great. Okay, so I'm Michelle Brown. I'm the Instructional Technology Administrator. Jason Adams is also here. He is moderating this session. So if you do have any questions as we go through, please put them in the chat and we will answer them as we go along. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We only have 45 minutes and usually this session is an hour to an hour and a half face-to-face. So this is the first time doing it virtually. So hopefully we can get through as much as possible and get you up and running on Flipgrid. So Flipgrid is one of those tools that I absolutely love. One, it's free, 100% free, and you get all the tools. So there's not a premium version versus a free version. It's a very powerful tool to use with your kids. It's very engaging. And really this statement of everyone is a teacher and everyone is a learner is probably key in what Flipgrid brings to you as a teacher and your students. We know that when students can demonstrate their learning, talk about their learning, show others what they've learned, that just elevates their thinking and how they apply the content that you're trying to teach. So one of the questions I really have for you quickly is, how familiar are you with Flipgrid? And there's some options there that you can put in the chat. And I just kind of want to get a feel for the audience that we're having. Beginners, kind of in between, maybe they used it and loved it. I'll give you a few seconds to answer.
Okay, so we have a lot of beginners. Never heard of it, never heard of it. Heard of it, never used it. I would say that we would be safe to start from scratch.
Okay, so Flipgrid, and what I'm going to do is kind of show you an example of a Flipgrid first, so that you can kind of see what the end result is, and then we'll talk about how you get in there, how you build a Flipgrid, and how you use Flipgrid with your students. So I've switched over. This is an example of a very simple Flipgrid. And with most tools you can get very simple, basic, or you can really go in depth with it. But what it does is it gives you a platform to put an assignment on a Flipgrid, and we'll talk about integrating into Google Classroom and all those things a little bit later. And here you can see that this was part of a research paper, and like I said, this is the very basic part of it. And the teachers put up a little video of themselves. You can put other content. And then what happens is the kids come in, and this is first grade, they record their responses to whatever the assignment is. Now, you do not have to record a video. The kids can use a whiteboard. They can use drawing tools, so they don't, or just their voice. So if you have kids that are a little hesitant about recording themselves, they can do that as well. So this is kind of what it looks like as an end result. Just to give you a quick idea of what we're going to be trying to accomplish. So the first thing that happens is you go to flipgrid.com, and you guys can navigate to that now if you want, and you're going to want to set up an educator account. So when you go to flipgrid.com, you'll come to a page that looks like this, and you'll want to do educator sign up. And when you click on educator sign up, and I'm gonna log out so you can see what it looks like. You will get the choice of sign in with Google or sign in with Microsoft. And you always want to sign in with Google. Same with your kids. Your kids will not have to create an account. They will use a code. And all they have to do is sign in with Google and it puts them right in. So there's nothing on your part about managing students or anything like that. So I'll give you a few seconds if you want to set up an account. When you set up your account, the first thing it's going to ask you to do is create a topic. So your topic is kind of your content that you want the kids to respond to. And I will show you what that looks like. Once you get in, and I'll show you what a topic looks like. So the first thing it asks you to do is create a topic. So you're going to come to a page that says create a topic. You just fill out the information. Title, I'm just going to say test. They always want you to put some type of prompt. So this could be the question you're asking, this could be the requirements you want for the discussion, or what you're asking the students to do. So please list, or please talk about, or please show, whatever your directions are going to be. Then as you scroll down, you set a time limit. Now the time limit is how long they have to record their assignment. So you have lots of different options for here. It could be 15 seconds to 10 minutes. They can go shorter than the time limit, but they cannot go longer than the time limit. So if you set it for 1 minute 30 seconds, they can stop at 1 minute and go on. But once that 1 minute and 30 seconds happens, it ends the recording. You may want to give them more time, or you may want to limit how much time they can talk. If you're wanting to see fluency or things like that, you may want to see how much they can read or how well they can read within a certain amount of time. Or you may not want them to be dragging on a video for 5 or 10 minutes. Video moderation. This is one thing that you might want to really pay attention to. You can see that it's off right now. So if you remember in that example I showed you before where you could see all the kids' little videos, if you turn this on, what that does is it halts the videos from showing to other students until you allow them to show. So the kids could record their responses. They will not show up on the grid. The other students would not be able to see their responses on the grid until you turn the moderation off. So for some things you may want that, like if you're wanting to check for understanding in a type of assessment, you may not want them to view other students' responses until they have made their response. But in other instances, you might want them to see other students' responses so they can interact with each other and talk back and forth and make responses to each other. So it's really up to you how you want to do the moderation. But if it is off, that means all the videos will show up for each student and the students will see each other's. This next part, if you remember in that example, you saw the little video on the side where the teachers were, and if I had clicked that, it would play them talking to the students and giving the example and giving the directions. That's where this will show up. So you can record your own video and say, hey kids, I want you to do ABC. I want you to show me how to do this math problem using household items, whatever you want. So you could have a video with you talking and explaining directions, or you talking, showing an example. You see there's all sorts of other options that you can put up in that area where the directions are. You can upload just an image and have them talk about the image. You can connect a Nearpod and let them go through a Nearpod and then come back and demonstrate understanding. It also integrates with Kahoot and some other things. So you can choose how you want that piece to show. If you don't put anything there, it would just be blank. It wouldn't show anything. This area right here is really important because this is how students are going to be able to access the Flipgrid you want them to. So you always want to use student email, and you want to put @henry-schools.net in here. Because what that'll do is they'll just have to click sign in with Google and click on their name, and it puts it right in. There's no codes, there's a code, but there's no password or username that they have to put in. This student username, this creates individual username and passwords for students, and I do not recommend using that because then you have to maintain that and give that information out to the students. It's much easier just to put the henry-schools.net up here and let the students sign in with Google. I'm going to show you more options before we go on to create topic. So under more options, you have the ability to make any attachments. So if you have Google Docs or a particular worksheet or something that you want them to utilize as they're responding in the Flipgrid, you can attach it here. Topic status. This is where you can make them active, frozen, or hidden. Active means it will always show and the kids can access it with the code. If it's frozen, it will show, but no more responses can be made. And if it's hidden, it won't show at all. There's also schedule dates, which come in very handy. So if you're doing a situation where you want several pieces to happen, so maybe they're doing a research topic, and the first response is to talk about some of their top 3 ideas for their research, then the next topic is to talk about the details of their research, and then the third one is practicing for a oral presentation, and then the 4th topic would be the final presentation. You can set those up ahead of time and schedule them. That's what this is for. So whatever date you have here is when it's going to show up for them, and whatever date you have here is when it will close. So it will close on the date that you put, so you don't have to come back in and close it out if you don't want any more responses. Notifications, so if you have crazy email like I do and you don't want email posting every time someone posts a video, you would change this notification. So this notification is you getting emails when something has posted. So if you want to know when the kids post, you can put daily, weekly, or just new videos, or you can say never. Download and share is if you want the students to be able to download their video. Not other videos, but their video. And then if you want followers, if you want the students to be able to receive email notifications, I usually use this, leave this off, unless you want them to receive some type of notification that new videos have been added. Most of this stuff I leave as the default, but you determining how your class operates, you may want to change some of this. So with every video, you saw the little thumbnails and the examples, those are their selfies. So at the end of a video, it takes a little selfie of them, it kind of gives them some personalization that they can add to their thumbnail. Video comments, if you want the students to be able to comment on each other's videos and have those discussions, that is this. They can display the count. If you want them to use sticky notes, I always leave this on and I will show you what the sticky notes are, but it helps them when they're recording. Video editing is also important. I leave that on. It allows them to, or you to trim your videos. So if you have the ums and the uhs at the beginning, or a lot of kids at the end, they don't know to stop their video. So you'll get a lot of, staring off into space or the fixing of the hair after the video. They can trim that off so they can clean up their video a little bit. And then the attachment links. Likes is another thing. It's off by default for a reason, because that becomes an issue sometimes in classes where somebody gets lots of likes and somebody doesn't. So you can determine those settings for yourself. And then feedback, if you want to put in a custom rubric or do those kind of things, you can use the custom feedback, and it allows you some flexibility there. So once you've decided all those things, you can create a topic. Once your topic is created, it gives you a code that you can copy, or as you can see here, you can integrate it into your Google Classroom directly, or you can now share on Remind, which there will be a training on Remind next week. That is another really big program that the district's going to be using. Don't worry about having to copy this right away. You can if you want, but I will show you where you can find the code to give the students as you're working through the Flipgrid. So you can see that once your topic has been created, here it is, all ready to go. Now I'm going to show you across the top where you find your topics. They're all under discussion. So under discussion, you will see all topics that you have created. Next to topics is groups. So if you wanted to have specific groups that you wanted to assign different topics to, you could do that. So your groups could be different teams, it could be different class periods, it could be whatever you want. So you can create your groups, it could be content-based, however you want to set it up, you can set up your groups. And then put the topics under each group. So I'm going to go into a topic real quick. I set one up for you guys. So I will let you play in this as a student as we get towards the end so that you can see it from a student's viewpoint. But this is how I'm going to flip, and this is the topic. So when the kids come in here, the students come in as you would join with Google, you would click your name, and then the students would be able to respond. That's kind of the basics of just using a simple Flipgrid. One other thing that I wanted to show you before we get into responding and all that, and I'm going to go back out to my teacher page, is this thing called Shorts. You do not have to set up a topic or do anything like that if you just want to make a quick video with some whiteboarding or some screen capturing and send it to your students. So for instance, if you wanted to do just a quick tutorial, you can come into Flipgrid, click on Shorts, click on Record Video, and your camera would come up, and you would have everything that you need from the Flipgrid camera to create a very quick, short tutorial. So you don't even have to worry about making a whole topic or anything like that if you just want to add a tutorial to your classroom. The camera in Flipgrid is really powerful, and it's got a lot of tools. And so I'm going to demonstrate the tools for you, and just keep in mind that the tools for the camera are available to you and your students. So they have the same power of the tools that you have when making a video. So in your camera, you obviously have the record. Under options, you can upload a clip, you can mirror your video, and of course you can record your screen. So the record the screen option is going to be very similar to what you see in like a Google Meet or a Zoom or anything like that, where it just asks you to pick what you want to record, click share, get a countdown, and now I'm recording. So if I'm doing a tutorial for the kids, or the kids are demonstrating something, or you have a topic that you want them to do, they can demonstrate how they go to different places or what they're trying to do, and they're recording the whole time. Basic screen capturing. Stop recording, get a countdown, and now I'm recording. So if I'm doing a tutorial for the kids, or the kids, so you can see how that works. If I need to add more video, I can. If I need to trim it, I can do that too.
We have a question.
Yes.
How long can the short be? What's the time limit for short creation?
I have not seen a time limit, but I'll have to look it up. But I think it's pretty much as long, it's like any video recorder, so it's gonna go as long as you can, and then you also have to be aware that the longer the video is, the more memory it takes, and the more space it takes up, and the longer it takes to render. So videos really need to be as short as possible, break them up into chunks if you have to do something fairly long. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I believe so. We also have another response from Ms. Howard that said that the 10-minute limit applies to the short as well.
Okay. Awesome. 10 minutes is really a long time to be watching a video for anybody. So just be aware that if you have a lot of content you want to cover, you might want to break it up into shorter segments and have them do activities in between. Thanks for letting us know about the 10 minutes. Also, under effects, we'll go here. This is where you're going to find your whiteboard options, if you want to use a photo in your video, if you want to add text. These are the little emojis, a frame, and filters. Filters come in handy because if you, maybe your student doesn't want to see their face or show their face, they can digitize themselves and still talk. You can have that option. And then they have other options as well in there. Besides filters, the whiteboard feature is pretty nice. So if you're doing a tutorial or your kids need to demonstrate something, they can use the whiteboard feature. And there's the dots, there's the graph paper, there's the line, there's a plain whiteboard. You also have the option for split screen. So if I'm recording myself or the students are recording, they can have themselves here. They can get their paper up, they can get their drawing tool, and they can write whatever they need to write. It's a little bit difficult on a touchpad. Okay. Or there is text. And you can type, and it's movable. So you can type in instructions and have them write, or they can type something and they can write. So there is the flexibility of that. So there's lots of ways that students can demonstrate their learning here without either recording their face, or if they want to record their face and talk, they can do that too. Or you can use this as a way to screen capture, do tutorials, and all those things. And what happens is when you're done, and I wasn't really recording, but I'll record this a little bit so you can see. So this is going to go on the end of that other thing that I did, the other screen capturing. I'm going to press pause. I'm going to click next. You get a countdown, and now I'm recording. So if I'm doing, so you can see here was the first part of my video, here was the second part of my video. The kids can review their videos before they submit. You can review your videos before they submit. And if all's good, if you don't need to trim, you can delete, so you can see. So this is going to go on the end of that other thing that I did, the other screen capture. So there is lots of it, so you can see. Lots of ways to do it. If you're good with it, you click next. You take your little selfie. If you don't like your selfie, you can redo it. A lot of kids get stuck in this phase, so I would tell them not to spend too much time here. They can add personalization again. All the tools are available even in this stage, so they can add stickers, draw, whatever. Click next. And then there's the video. Okay, so that was an example of how it works in Shorts. If they were in a topic, it would work the same way. Any questions on using the camera, creating topics, making shorts before I talk about resources, and then I'm going to give you the code to go into that one so you can play around. Good so far?
We have one question wondering if you could integrate Bitmoji with this. I wonder if you could maybe screen capture
A Bitmoji?
Bitmoji and upload that image.
Yeah. You can upload images into this. There was the little picture icon. So you would probably have to screen capture. I'm not aware of a Bitmoji connection. From what I understand, there are resources out there, and they'll all be in the classroom, the tech classroom for teachers. There is somebody who does the Bitmojis on the video, and that's how they do their book talks and things like that. But what they did was they uploaded the Bitmoji picture and put it on. So when you're in that camera, under those effects, you can see there's a picture icon next to, I think it was next to the whiteboard, or it might have been, it's somewhere near the selfie and the pen, I believe. But the picture icon lets you upload a picture onto that screen that you're recording. So I'm going to show you some other places to get some resources, and then also give you some ideas on how to use this. So in your teacher account, you will see the Discovery Library. The Discovery Library is just what you think it is. It's all sorts of lessons and things that have already been created from different people that use Flipgrid or integrate with Flipgrid, and ideas on how to use Flipgrid. And you can sort by grade level, you can sort by topic, and the cool thing is you can pull it over into your Flipgrid, add it to your Flipgrid, and just make changes. So it's not like you're having to start from scratch. So that's a good place to go look for different ideas. Under activities, this is where you could go to see badges or things that if you want to earn badges or do different things with Flipgrid and get the Flipgrid Certified Educator certificate or whatever, they have that out there. Mixtapes is where you can create a mixtape of the different videos that came from a topic. So if you wanted to have one place, like let's say you had good examples of students' videos, you can create a mixtape and then share that. It's a good way to share ideas with other teachers or with parents and things like that. And you can give a code to parents where they can see what the kids are talking about. They wouldn't be able to necessarily access the account or do anything, but they can view the videos. GridPals is just kind of, how would I say, if you wanted to connect with another class and do one topic, and then kids from different areas, either of the United States or the world, or other classrooms within your school, you can do GridPals. And so it's a way of collaborating with students from other areas on the same topic. And we've done it with people in Brazil where they were researching the rainforest of this particular animal, and so they were on there posting their videos, and the kids got to ask questions, and then they responded. So you can hook up with scientists or experts in the field or other classrooms through GridPals. So I'm going to go back real quick Let's jump through this. And I want to show you real quickly, whoops, let's go back. Here are some ideas, and I'm hoping you can see this, but here are all the different areas that Flipgrid can be used. And I have used it with pre-K and kinders. Once they learn to click the record and talk and click the green arrow, they are good to go. That's one of the beauties about this, is it uses video the way kids are used to using video. So they are very familiar with how to operate in this environment. It can be used on any device, so it doesn't matter. It's not proprietary to any particular OS, so any device. Phones included. There is a great phone app. So if the kids can't be on their device, or for some reason can't get connected to the internet and they can use their phone or their parents' phone, they can submit the assignment through the phone app, or the parents can help them through the phone app. So the assignment that I've set up for you guys to play as a student is at this link, flipgrid.com, and the code is up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click over to that so you can see it. And I will click on here, this is where it says code, and that's going to make it nice and big. So if you go to flipgrid.com and you enter the join code, or you can use your QR reader, enter this join code, you will join as if you were a student joining a topic. This is also a good way if you're in the classroom with face-to-face kids, easily show them the code so that they can get in. That's another beautiful thing about Flipgrid, is that it can be used with face-to-face and distance learning kids, and it's operating at the same level. There's not a lot of change in content. They can all access it the same. They can use it the same. So it doesn't make a difference whether they're face-to-face or distance learning. So here's my little instruction video. So here's a chance for you to get a little practice in. You'll be accessing the Flipgrid as a student, so you can see kind of what they're going to go through when they try to post something for their assignment. So your assignment is to tell me how you think you can use Flipgrid in your classroom with your students. So remember to include your grade level and what the content, area, or curriculum connection is, and give an explanation of what you want to try with your students. Make sure when you're practicing with your videos to try out the different tools. Use the video editing, click on some buttons, practice the whiteboarding, practice the drawing tools, add stickers to your selfie, all those kind of things that you think the students are going to try, so you can get a good feel for how to use the Flipgrid camera and how your students will be interacting with their assignment. Good luck and have fun. That's the most important thing about Flipgrid, is to have fun. Okay, so if you're in the flipgrid.com and you've put in that code, you should see how you're going to Flipgrid, and you should be able to click on the record response and go ahead and get started.
So can you walk them through again how they would, for the first time, access Flipgrid and join your class and add the code?
Okay. So you're going to go to flipgrid.com, and let me get a new tab here. Flipgrid.com. Enter join code is right at the top. So that's what your students would do. They would put the join code right there. And I'm going to try it, but since I'm in, it might just pop me in without asking me to sign in. It just pops me in. What will happen is they should get a thing that says log in with Google or Microsoft, and all they have to do is click log in with Google and click their name. Oof. Sorry for the feedback. Did that get you where you needed to be? When you're done recording your response, whatever that looks like, you just keep clicking the green next until it submits it. Once it's submitted, I should see it show up on this topic board. And you should be able to see others too, because I did not turn on moderation. So I'll give you a few minutes to play around with that, and then I'm going to show you one little management thing at the end, in case you're wondering how you take down someone's video. I will tell you, it's rather strange not being able to see anybody. See if you're working. Very silent here.
Now the construction is quiet.
Yeah. Now there's no construction when I'm not talking, right? Oh, look.
Right.
No, that's the first grade.
Oh.
That's the first grade class. There they are.
All right, there we go.
Look at how fabulous they look. Keep on posting, and I will show you here in a couple more minutes. I will show you how to access where these are housed so that you can delete one if you need to. I'll give you about another minute to play and wrap up, and then I'm going to talk a bit about how to delete a video, or a response, I should say, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a video of their face, and how you could use this with your Promethean board. Okay, so I'm going to show you, if for some reason you're on here and you're looking at the different videos and you're seeing maybe something that doesn't look appropriate, or you watched one of the videos and your student didn't do something appropriate, or who knows, someone in the background, did something inappropriate, because that happens too. You are able to remove videos from the topic. So you're going to want to be in your educator account where you can see the different topics. And you would go to the topic that you need to edit as far as removing a video, and you find the person that needs to be removed, and then over here you have your different buttons. So under actions, you can then either hide the response or you can delete it altogether. Download the video, you can see all the different options there. But that's how you would go ahead and remove something that you didn't want. One thing I did forget to show you, and I'm just going to go quickly into the Shorts camera to show it to you, but it is a tool on the video recording, and I don't know if you guys found it. It is really a handy tool. I gotta find out what menu it's under. Where is it? I don't see it. I hope they didn't take it away. I'm looking for the sticky notes. I know they're here somewhere. They shouldn't have taken away. When you're in the camera, let's see if I can find it real quick. There is an option for sticky notes, and the sticky notes, there they are. I found it. You have this little thing up here called sticky notes. This is a place you can type your notes for what you're going to say. And it does not show. So for your students, it's a good idea to have them type out what they're going to say, and then as they record, they can read the sticky note, and it does not show on the other end. If they don't know what the topic's about, they can click right here and view it real quick, and then go back to recording. So those are two things I wanted to make sure you were aware of. Before I go on with the Promethean board, is there any questions? And then we're going to wrap up. Are we good?
I believe we're all good.
Okay. So with your Promethean boards, again, you would be in the Chrome environment because it is a website. But you can go on the Chrome environment, open your Flipgrid. If you just wanted to screen capture stuff that you were doing on your board, different websites, or you're annotating on a website, you can use the Shorts camera and just screen capture. And remember, you can have your face and whatever you're screen capturing and just be writing right on your board, and it would be screen capturing what you're doing. So it is a way, of course you'd have to have your computer, if you want, to see what you're doing with the camera. But it does screen capture whatever you're doing. So make sure that if you want to use it that way, you can. It's just like any other screen capturing tool. So we will have all the resources in our Endry Tech for Teachers, and I will show you, there's the bit.ly for it. We will put all resources up there, videos, handouts, anything like that are up there, guides to getting started. And then that's our classroom, so you want to join that. And then there's a sign-in sheet, I think,
Top of the chat.
that Jason put in the chat, so make sure you sign in. See you in 15 minutes for screen capturing in Loom.